Hi everyone and welcome back as I take a look at Court Martial in my UFO series. Yes, I'm sort of following the same lines as the last two videos, but this one's a little bit different. As you know, Straker and Foster have been up against each other. This one's a little bit different. Right from the start, Foster is found guilty at court martial, espionage. Sentence, death. Then we get the flashback story. Straker's on his way home. He finds his car is bugged. He has a shrewd idea who it is. It turns out to be Henderson, carrying out a routine security check. Henderson confronts Straker about a message that was leaked about Skydiver. Meanwhile, Foster's in his apartment. He's having a chat with some gentleman about the film industry, and Foster doesn't know what's going to be heading his way. Alex Freeman now gets a phone call. Another leak has occurred about a flight to Moonbase. Straker confronts Foster about the leaks. Foster, of course, has no idea what is going on, and Straker informs him he will be facing a court-martial situation. And that's exactly what happens. He's put on trial. Jackson, the psychiatrist, is prosecuting. The whole case looks like it's a done deal. It looks like Foster's guilty, especially when it's announced that £10,000 suddenly pops up in Foster's account. It looks like game over. But Straker is not convinced. All the evidence is saying Foster is guilty, but Straker is not convinced. Straker needs a break, and he's about to get that break. He's confronted by a film director about industrial espionage on the film set, and the name Paul Foster comes up. Straker has got a break, and now he starts his investigation in clearing Foster. Straker and Freeman arrive at Foster's apartment. They're having a bit of a difficulty in locating the suspect bugging, but eventually they do, and they find it's a very high-tech, sophisticated bugging system. Meanwhile, Foster, going to appeal against the decision of execution, has a chat with Jackson about Straker's back screen, and Foster's worked out it's an escape hatch, and he uses it. The alert goes out by Jackson to stop Foster, who is now technically on the run. And he is now being hunted down by shadow personnel. While this is going on, Straker has assembled pieces of information which leads him to the supplier of the bugging equipment. He has a confrontation with the gentleman, which leads him on to the woman who purchased all this bugging gear. He gets hold of her in his office to get a sworn affidavit that she is responsible for the bugging of Paul Foster's apartment. Meanwhile, the hunt continues for Foster. He's eluding the guards, but unfortunately he can only get away from them for a while. And eventually they catch him and Foster is shot. Straker hands the affidavit to Henderson, and has a bit of a go at him because Straker believes that Foster is now dead. Foster's not dead. Henderson informs him that it's Jackson's idea to use anesthetic bullets. Foster is alive, and therefore now Foster has been cleared of espionage. Wonderful, this one. Absolutely wonderful. very clever story. Well worth checking out. And on that note, just before I go, I've decided to tag this little bit extra on. The money that was paid to Foster in his account by the gentleman he was meeting had nothing to do with the actual spying, but of course a large sum of money being deposited nearly cost Foster his life. So yeah, this is a very good episode. It's a very enjoyable episode. It's a little bit different from the confrontation episodes between Foster and Straker, and it really comes down to Straker's faith in Foster, and he believes Foster all the way, practically. Even though the evidence is completely stacked against Foster, Straker believes him. And it is Straker, with Freeman's help, who puts all the pieces together and clears Foster. So, a little bit different this episode. We don't have the actual confrontation between these two, but it's absolutely marvellous episode. It's well worth watching, in my opinion. It's fantastic. It really is. And the subtle decision by Jackson to use anaesthetic bullets was a clever little manoeuvre as well. Okay, it is now the end of the video. Okay, folks, have a great day. I'll catch you in due course on the next one. Goodbye.